What's up guys, so on this particular video we'll be discussing about Spiti Valley in the month of October 2025, what you should be expecting in terms of the weather, the road condition, the places that you should be visiting. Overall, will the roads be safe enough to travel? Will the weather be fine in terms of cloudburst and flash floods which have plagued Himachal for the last few months? And if you are planning a trip to Spiti Valley, what is the safety precautions and the route that you should be taking? And finally, will there be snowfall? And is it a good time to go biking to Spiti Valley in the month of October? So, now starting off with the weather. Now, remember, October is the start of winter in Spiti Valley. So, you can expect the daytime temperature to range from anywhere between 12 to 16 degrees. Now, this temperature variation will fluctuate depending on where you are. In places like Kaza, it will be a little bit warmer, Kaza and Tabo, while in places like Dankar, Langza, which are higher up, it will be much more cooler and more pleasant. Now, the nighttime temperature in Spiti Valley will drop to minus, so the temperature in the night will go to anywhere between -3 to -4. Now, this doesn't mean that it's going to be snowing, but it's definitely going to be very, very cold in Spiti Valley. So, when you're traveling in October, make sure that you have plenty of woolen wear and woolen wear in the form of layers. So, I would ideally recommend you put on a pair of thermals, then you go on to a long sleeves t-shirt, maybe on top of that a light sweatshirt, and on top of that a jacket. So that is the kind of clothing that you would need for the nights, because it's going to be really, really cold. In the daytime you can get through with maybe half of what I just mentioned earlier. Keep your clothing handy and switch around depending on how you feel and how the weather condition is. Now, when it comes to rainfall, there might be a little bit of rain along the way in Manali and along the way in Kinnaur. But this is going to be the retreating monsoon. The monsoon is going to come to an end by October. So it is relatively safe to be traveling to Spiti Valley in the month of October. If you're planning during Dasera or during Diwali, it's going to be relatively safe in terms of flash floods and landslides. Landslides might happen here and there because of how severe the floods and the conditions have been. So some rocks here and there might fall, and that could be a problem. But keep in mind that the Himachal government, along with the police and the BRO, are doing their best to keep everything under check. So wherever there is any kind of shooting rocks falling, there will definitely be some kind of patrolling happening, which will prevent any kind of further damage to tourists. Now, when it comes to what is the routing that you should be taking, you can start your trip from Shimla and end in Manali, because by then the roads and everything should be clear. But remember, if you are someone who's planning a rush trip that is of 6 nights, 7 days or anything shorter, it's going to be a real challenge, because the roads are not like what it used to be. The roads are broken in most part along the journey. So by default, you should plan for a longer trip. Ideally, you should plan for anywhere between 9 to 11 days. The reason I'm saying this is because in case there's any kind of roadblock or any kind of situation where you are stuck because of the road being made or rocks falling, this wouldn't really hamper your entire journey, and you wouldn't end up missing your return flight or train. Hence, plan for a longer journey, minimum 9 days. And I would personally recommend 11 days is the ideal time frame to be planning Spiti Valley in the month of October in this year, because of the current situation that Himachal Pradesh is in. Now, when it comes to the places that you should be visiting, by default, you should visit the places that I'm going to be mentioning. Kaza, by default, you should stop at, but I wouldn't recommend staying a night because it's not really worth the experience. But you should definitely stay in Tabo. You should stay in the village of Dankar. Dankar by default has the best experience and the best night sky that you can get in Spiti Valley. So by default, if you can stay a night in Dankar, make sure you stay on a no moon night. You'll definitely get to see the galaxy in the month of October. Langza is another good place to experience the Spitian culture. It's a village which has nothing much to offer, but it has a lot to offer in terms of the overall Spitian experience. So if you're someone who wants to experience the real authentic Spiti culture, then go to Langza, stay in one of the homestays, and you will be enriched. Go to Hikkim to send postcards. Make sure you carry a pen and a little bit of money so you can buy a postcard and the stamps in cash. Now, at the same time, Another very good village to be staying at is Demul, which is the cultural epicenter in Spiti Valley. Demul has its own civilization of its kind. When I say civilization, I'm saying it's different from what the other Spitian villages offer. And Demul is one of the few villages which still has no network and organic toilets, so there are no water toilets. If you can and you want a real authentic experience more than what Langza has, then go to Demul. Now, when it comes to what is the kind of clothing that you need to be carrying, you need to carry layers of clothes. You definitely need to carry your sunscreen, you need to carry your sun glares, and at the same time, you need a very good pair of shoes because you'll be doing a lot of walking and a little bit of trekking here and there because everything in Spiti Valley is kind of a trek. So, you definitely need to have a very good pair of shoes along with you. Now, with this, you have to keep in mind that carrying your lip balm and cold cream is very important because it gets really, really cold in Spiti Valley. And when it does get cold, your lips will end up chapping and sometimes end up cracking and bleeding. So, to avoid that, carry lip balm so you can always have it on the go and start applying lip balm from the time you reach Delhi so that by default, by the time you're in Spiti, you do not have any of these issues. If you are someone who's planning a self-driving trip to Spiti Valley, be very cautious because your car might end up getting damaged because the roads are not in the best condition. If you're planning a biking trip, again, biking in October is generally a good time, but keeping in mind the current road condition, you'll need some real extra skill set to get through the entire journey. Chandratal Lake might not be accessible in the month of October, but Chandratal Lake might not be accessible in October because of the current road conditions. So towards the end of October, it might start to shut. But in the first half, if everything goes well and they are able to clear the road, and that's possible, then definitely Chandratal will be open. But don't really keep your hopes high about Chandratal Lake being accessible in October this year because of all that's happened. Now, if you are someone who's planning a trip to Spiti Valley in the month of October, we do have trips to Spiti Valley. You can click on the link in the description and you'll get all the details related to our trip to Spiti Valley in the month of October. If you're interested, you can directly book from our website or you can contact our sales team who will guide you through the booking process. If you have any personal queries related to your own trip or your travel to Spiti Valley in the month of October, then leave a comment in the comment section on YouTube and we'll be happy to help you in whatever best way we can. But remember, if you have any of your queries and you want to contact us via WhatsApp or call, you'll need to book a consultation, which is a paid service. For the same, the link is in the description. Now, when it comes to snow, it's very unlikely that it will snow in Spiti Valley because winter has now started getting delayed. So the first snowfall based on the last few years, you can expect it towards the end of December or in the first week of January. So October is relatively a very good time to be going there because the weather is clear, the sky is good, and the overall feel of Spiti Valley is excellent. And at the same time, it's the start of, I would say, off season because it's neither summer, neither peak winter. So it's a kind of time when if you go there, you'll get a very good experience. Network in Spiti Valley is very, very good. Jio and Airtel have the best network service. So when you're traveling to Spiti Valley in the month of October, you will have Airtel and Jio 5G and 4G in most parts. Most villages also have network. So you do not need to worry about that. Prepaid and postpaid both work very, very well. Just make sure that you're carrying a good 10,000 mAh power bank so that if the need arises, which it will, you have your power bank to charge your gadgets and keep yourself connected to your family and friends. Now, Spiti Valley in the month of October is also autumn. So you'll get to a good autumn feel with the leaves and the trees changing color and drying up, and at the same time you'll also get to taste the local apples from Spiti Valley because September and October is the harvest season in Spiti Valley. Now till our next video about Spiti Valley, stay safe, stay happy and stay blessed.